Hi, JD here, and I have a good pal line, Danny McMaster. Hi, Danny.
How are you, JD?
Danny is probably known to you if you've seen a lot of the Tonight shows over the years, and Hey Hey, it's Saturday. Danny, you were always a regular on Hey Hey, weren't you?
Yes, loved it.
Okay. And Australia's Funniest Videos, can you tell us what you did with that?
I was there for about 9 years. I did all the voices of all the characters, the animals, the people, all sorts of stuff. So when something came up, I worked with about 3 writers, or great writers, and they would, each one would write a line on each video. I would sit there and sort of pick which one would suit whatever. I'd choose a character rather quickly. If it was a horse, it'd sound like Mr. Red, you know, Wilbur. Yeah. And if there was an elephant, it'd always be talking through his trunk, you know, or even a koala would always be sort of like, you know, through his nose. A little kid, I used to always had a little kid, he was always like that, he used to always pick that, and if there's a little girl, he would just be a higher pitch. Oh, that's really gorgeous, talking backwards and forwards. So then, and then occasionally it'd lend itself to a celebrity voice. You might have Arnold doing something if a guy didn't have the shirt on, he had a lot of muscles or something like that. And yeah, so I would just choose the characters, and it was a lot of fun. Came to work every Monday morning, and it was just different every week. And I worked with a really good sound guy, Jack, there, and we had a great time. We had a ball. And
over the time, can you imagine how much fun it would be if you've got this guy's skills, of course, in terms of, you know, impersonations. But and by the way, I mean, he gets asked to, you know, perform overseas as well as here in Australia, because I don't know how many character voices he's got. You'd have what? How many?
Well, over the years it's been about 200.
Wow.
So I mean, there's cartoon characters, there's, you know, there's different celebrities, there's different movie stars, recording stars, politicians.
I've got to get him to do the late great Bob Hawke.
You know, I was at press conferences, JD, and I used to be asked these different questions, and pretty much it would always be one of them that'd say that, what do you think about such and such a policy? And I would answer, I'd say, listen, I'd have to go through the whys, the wherefores, the do's and don'ts, the positive and negative aspects of same. And before I say anything about that, let me just say this, and let me be very emphatic about this before I say anything about that. What was the bloody question again?
Oh dear.
So they were the days where all the politicians were interesting to do, and you weren't in the politically correct atmosphere that we are these days. Yeah. And they had a lot of fun, but those guys used to be sitting in the audience, and you could talk to these guys, you know, about things and what have you. Now these days, no. It's just not on. You know.
Well, let me ask you, if you're watching this on a social media site platform, just type below if you've had enough of PC. You've just had enough of political correctness, because I only read recently where Seinfeld said that he's not going to be performing at university campuses anymore because they forced the comedians to sign a form that says they will not criticise fat people, thin people, tall people, short people, and it goes on and on and on.
I'm not signing any form. I'm not signing that form anymore. George can sign that form. I'm not signing that form.
But that's the thing. I mean, they won't do that. I mean, it's crazy. Comedy is based on, just having a bit of fun with people. I mean, I just want to say to the PC, you know, nuts out there, lighten up. For goodness sake, lighten up. I know that there are some issues that, you know, obviously have some substance to them, but look, in general, you can't...
Laughter is a mechanism that we deal with fear. It's as simple as that. And everybody's got their own definition of fear. And that's what nature gave us, was a natural mechanism to diffuse fear. And we're all afraid. Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, I use humour when I tell the wife that I was caught up late at the office, when in fact I'm really at the pub. When I get home, I'm in deep fear.
Yeah, well, these days they've got cameras everywhere, so you can't even lie about that.
Yeah, good point. Before we exit from this interview, I wanted to bring this up again, okay? On your screen right now, you'll be seeing something that I saw that really made me very scared. I was in fear. And it was at a Myer store, okay? A Myer department store. And look at these mannequins. They've got, like, no arms, no legs, I mean, no feet, no arms. Like, that is just lazy. You can't tell me, oh, look, that's pop culture, JD, we've done that on purpose. No, you didn't do that on purpose. You weren't thinking. I mean, you can't tell me that enhances the chances of buying that apparel. What have you got to say about that, Danny? Oh, sorry, what has one of your characters got to say about that?
Billy Connelly, you know, if I was walking in this place and I saw a mannequin that had no hands. And I'd think to myself, you say, how can you go around with half your gear on? You got to have all your gear with you. And then again, it could be sort of like making a statement about that, but I don't think so. I think he's just forgotten the hands. It's in the back store. And the mannequins down there say, where's my hands? Where's my hand? And yeah, they took my bloody hand off, yeah. So, I don't think much of it at all.
Well, I didn't think much of it at all either, because I think it falls under the banner of laziness. And if you are going to wow people in your store that, oh, look, that shirt looks good, or those pair of shorts look good, I think you need to have a proper mannequin. It's just laziness. And please don't go having a shot at me because you think that we're, criticising someone without arms. We're not. We're just saying that in terms of a display mechanism in a big department store, reeks of laziness. It doesn't really match, if you like. I could talk about message to market match marketing, and Maya has a very upmarket persona. This is not communicating that upmarket persona. This is communicating laziness on the marketing department's. Well, I don't know what was the marketing department. It might have been a display manager, but whoever it was, I think, should be told, look, for God's sake, think about this a little bit more. Danny, thank you very much, mate, for that. And listen, can we just outro, if you don't mind, on my favourite boxer of all times? I've got to outro on that.
Rocky Balboa. Your life is like, if life is not. Hang on. I learned this in a speed reading course. Life is not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean and nasty place. And thank you very much. Yo.
I'm out of here. If you want more of this stuff, there's a link above or below or beside us. Just click that. Thank you, Rocky.